and delays with me and my brain deciding to be a clean freak. Stefan is joined by his little cotton ball of a cat, which is sort of pawing at his arm at the minute.
I'm not hosting today, she is.
Yeah, she's decided she's going to be a host today.
Stop.
Although she does seem highly entertained, just scratching into your jacket there, into
Yeah.
your woolly thing.
It's all soft and woolly, so she likes to pat on it.
It's adorable.
It's annoying.
I was not going to do video, but since me and Stefan are both lounging, we've decided screw it. I am just in a dressing gown. Part of the delay is because of the dressing gown, because my clean freak of a mind decided, just randomly, no, dirty shower. So I've ended up being in the shower for like the second or third time today, just because my brain went, no, unclean, unclean, unclean. So I had to go in the shower. Really annoying.
You could look up, Lily, if you fancy it.
Hey, Lily. You just get
So
a
you look
head
further
looking
down.
up every once in a while and then just look down.
Yeah. Just sniffed at my hand. See
A
what I
little
was moving.
shuttlebug. Right, but yes, the other delay, other than the cat that is being adorable, was the wind that is ravaging the country,
Oh, do you know what? We get this shit all the
destroying wheelie
time.
bins.
Half the northeast blew over in the last storm and no one gave a shit. But oh my god, there's some wind in London. And it
I
might snow.
know, it's so
Everyone get that
terrible.
all over the news.
I do love how, like, I was listening to a radio station on the way home from work. I'm not going to mention the radio station, but I was listening to a radio station that I enjoy fully, and Stefan probably knows said station.
Hmm.
That had a call in from I don't know if he was an air controller or a pilot or just someone who works in an airport, but basically that asked him like, so how do you think the pilots are dealing with this, and like, do you think they're struggling? And the response was overwhelmingly British, because the response was simply, "We are reveling in the chance to get in practice in these conditions and ensure that we can fly these planes. We are fully enjoying the fact that we get to do what we trained for in the simulations and have never been able to do before. And every landing is like a little success and celebration. So I believe the pilots are reveling in the challenge." So how
There's a
British is
good
that?
British response.
There's hundreds of people in danger in the sky. Yes, but I've got this. Don't worry. I like a challenge.
I do have. Do you know what? Since you linked into British, I don't mean to hijack your podcast, but I do. I have a.
I mean, you are here to hijack.
Excuse me. This is making my job very difficult right now. Can you just go on?
Ooh, Jordan's appeared. Hey,
Go on.
Jordan.
Go on. Thank you. Okay, I'll sit there. I have the most British invasion ever.
The cat is hijacking. It's also doing the most British invasion ever of just being annoying in the corner.
Yeah, not actually causing any damage, just irritating the locals.
Yep.
I do have the most British invasion ever, though. So, um, right, so it's basically World War Two here, right?
Right, when you say basically World War II, do you mean it happened
No,
in World War II? It was the
yeah,
cause of?
this is the start of the kind of background into it. It's World War Two.
Okay.
So, as we know, the Nazis kind of wandered into Poland.
Kind of wandered into Poland.
Yeah,
Sort of
and
how
then
Russia is kind of wandering into Ukraine.
a little bit, but quicker. Um, but they also went on and occupied Denmark and Norway, right? And they needed iron ore to keep up military production, and obviously wanted to get towards Sweden, Denmark, Norway, that kind of thing. Now, controlling Norway, and your thingy's doing the echoey thing, by the way. Controlling Norway gave Germany access to the North Atlantic, right? So
Right.
it was a sea route that was vital to our supply chain,
Yeah.
right? So from a military standpoint, basically the next smart move for anybody would be to grab a little island if there was in the middle of the Atlantic and maybe turn it into a base camp.
Of
So
course.
to Iceland.
I thought you were about to say said little island, Britain.
No. Obviously we were worried, right? So basically, Iceland were neutral. We
As
went,
always.
Germany's coming over here and they're probably going to invade you. So do you not want to like side with us and we can send a load of troops over and we can help defend you and you can be in it as part of the Allies? And they were like, no, we're neutral, right? So
Germany
the
doesn't like neutral.
yeah, well, this is where this invasion is so British it's going to hurt your head, right? So basically, um, they said no, you're not coming over here. We're staying neutral. We're not joining you. But obviously, we were worried. Right, Germany takes them, then they're quite close to us. That's a problem. So
Yes.
to Iceland, the British are going to invade Iceland. Are you ready? Now,
How do we invade Iceland?
one important thing to think of in the Arctic Circle is how the sun works. So, at the North Pole, for example, there is 6 months of sun and then 6 months of night. Yes?
Yeah.
So, it's not as bad as that, but there are months where it doesn't get dark.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, so, the darkest day of the year is December the 21st. From then on, the days get longer again. By February, the day is extended by 7 minutes per day. And by March, right, there's hardly any at all. By April, the northern lights you can't even be seen in the evenings, and birds arrive from their winter whereabouts. And May provides absolutely no darkness. Okay,
I'm sorry, but your cat is shuffling around you so much, and at the minute it looks like it's on a treadmill.
I know.
Anybody listening, come and find the recording. It should be on Facebook, um, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Honestly, just come and watch
Just doing it.
Stefan's adorable cat just doing a shuttle bug on his arm.
Just started on my arm. Just purring as well. Just quite content.
Bless her.
Yeah. So by um by May, there was absolutely no darkness. Right.
Yes, it is just sun constantly.
So we thought we will go at night. So the pretense of this invasion was we decided not to alert them because we thought if we say right we're coming over, they're just going to go no you're not. We've told you we're neutral. So we thought we'd invade and kind of impose ourselves upon them so as to not give it up to Germany, basically. So
Right.
we're going to go at night. So in May there's no darkness. So the British Army invaded Reykjavik at 5 a.m. on a Friday in May. So it was completely light, even though we went 5 in the morning.
Yep. I'll mute my mic. Fuck's it.
It's all right. The mission was dubbed Operation Fork, um, and it was meant to be a surprise to Iceland. So when we arrived, we shut the lights off on the ship. Like that would make any fucking difference when there's a massive battleship coming in and daylight, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but when 4 warships sailed into harbour, so this is the thing as well. I also read somewhere that we staggered it, so we sent 1 warship, waited half an hour, sent another one, waited half an hour, sent another one, so that when we sent, I think it was like 3,000 troops or something, they were going to arrive in a couple of hundred at a time at this little port. So
So it would
Reykjavik,
be like a sneak attack.
the idea was most people would be asleep. This little port would only have a few people there, so it'd be fine. Would land with a few people, they'd wander off, and then about 20 minutes later, some more. And then, unless somebody was there constantly and realised, fuck me, this is the 4th time that a ship's landed and let this many people off, then they wouldn't really think there's that many people there.
Yeah.
But there was a problem, and they all got delayed, so all 4 arrived at the same time. Which was immediately obvious that there was something going on because there was
Typical British planning.
3,000 people. Yeah. So far, we're 0 for 2. We're trying to go at night in small groups, and we turned up in one massive group in the middle, basically in daylight. But
Yep.
it gets better. There was a plane, right, on one of the boats, who we set off, right, and the pilot had strict instructions: do not fly over Reykjavik. The thing was, they wanted the plane to fly over, check for any subs, because obviously if there was any U-boats, it would be a massive problem.
Yep.
Right? So he was to set off, he was to patrol the waters or to have a look around the waters to check it was clear and then land again. He was under strict instructions not to fly over Reykjavik.
typical scouting mission. Yeah.
Yes. But he was a British pilot.
So he flew right over.
He took off and flew straight over Reykjavik, then flew back again, then flew back again, very low, and woke everybody up.
Of course.
So he went over 4 times, low.
4 times low, sound bombing everybody in the fucking area.
Yeah. So far it's going well. So it says the convoy first passed the Reykjavik Peninsula, the boot-shaped corner, with fishermen in Keflavik noticing the unusual convoy. But it was the middle of the night. Thank you. And they didn't see a reason to notify the authorities because Iceland had nothing to do with the war. They just thought those guys must be headed somewhere else.
So they saw people land on the fucking shores.
No,
and
no,
just
they
went,
saw
"Ah,
them
they must
come
be headed
in.
somewhere else."
They saw them come
Oh.
round the peninsula.
Of course.
Britain, for its part, had not taken into consideration that the ships would arrive on a public holiday and a payday for fishermen when a good number were awake in the middle of the night drinking and dancing.
Why not?
So far, it's broad daylight. We're all turned up at once, and it's a public holiday, so everybody's at the shore getting pissed.
Yeah.
So again,
A
0
public
for 3.
holiday and a payday.
Yeah,
And we've had an airplane bomb around just to wake up anybody that was asleep.
Yeah, just to make sure no one's asleep. So when a good number were awake in the middle of the so police and taxi drivers on drunk duty were the first to spot ships on the horizon. 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 grey warships, whether British or German nobody knew. So the British cabinet decided not to notify Icelandic authorities ahead of their arrival and instead jumped straight on to an actual invasion. The reasoning was that despite unofficially leaning toward Britain in the war, the Icelandic government would likely reject any suggestion of military protection as they already had due to their neutrality. Right? So it said if they had first been given an opportunity to reject the Brits, the forthcoming invasion might be met with some more hostility. Plus, if word got out, Germany had their northern fleet in Norway and could get there faster. So only 2 people in Reykjavik could be certain about the nationality of the approaching ships, and they were the British consul, because he had a radio telegram telling them that was going to happen, and the German consul, because, well, process of elimination, he knew it wasn't his ships.
Yeah.
The German consul was a guy called Gerlach. Ian had long since sensed that the Icelandic public, as well as Icelandic politicians, favoured the British in the war. He even said Iceland is a British country under a Danish crown. Yeah, in documents intended to burn before the British forces arrived, he said, "Bring the files, light the boiler." He'd ordered, realizing that no one at the residence knew how to light a coal heater. So we actually went and arrested this guy. You'll see in a bit, but yeah, nobody knew how. So at this point, we're coming over. The crowd in the harbour is now bigger.
Yeah,
because more people
watching these 4 ships come in.
Yeah. They became a lot less anxious because they realised that the flags on the ship were British. The British consul arrived with his suitcase in tow, a clear indicator of the nationality of the incoming troops.
Yeah.
So because the one British guy in Iceland turned up with his suitcase, they were like, must be the Brits.
Well, yeah, he's not going to go and do business with the Germans, is he?
The Britain was hoping for a peaceful operation, though the mariners were ordered to load their guns just in case. But as the ship got closer, the crowd was easy to read. Everybody was standing completely still, even the police. I also read, again, another account, when they saw these things coming in, you know how the police and the taxi drivers were on drunk admission?
Yeah.
Apparently, I read one thing that said they sent a policeman on a bicycle to see if he could see anything any clearer and work out whose ships they were and what they were doing.
Why not?
Dude,
He'll probably get through the streets faster than the taxis and police cars.
They were in the harbour. How is he going to get any closer to them on a bicycle than anyone else standing on the harbour?
Maybe they deployed them before they arrived at the harbour. Fuck knows. Maybe they thought that if he cycled up a mountain, he would get a clearer view.
Yeah, but then he's further away. But yeah, the consul, according to witnesses, tapped the shoulder of a policeman standing in the middle of the crowd and politely asked, "Would you mind getting the crowd to stand back a little bit so the soldiers can get off the destroyer?" The policeman, whose job description likely did not require him to help foreign invaders, just nodded and went, "Certainly."
The most British, polite. Excuse me, can you just move the crowd back so the soldiers can get off the destroyer
Yeah.
that's coming to your shores?
Again, this invasion, as you can see, is getting more and more British. So at 6 a.m., the first regiment of soldiers stood lining the harbour at ease. A noticeably drunk man walked through the crowd and raised his fist, shaking it in the direction of one soldier. While that happened, another man simultaneously ashed his cigarette into the barrel of a rifle and then said, "You should be more careful with that," and then wandered off. The subsequent soldier got told off by his superior. That's not his fault.
It'll be the whole Queen's Guard thing where if they interfere with you, you're allowed to beat the living shit out of them.
Anyway, that was the resistance.
Yeah, it sounds like very typical resistance. One drunk person raising his fist and another person just casually putting a cigarette out on the barrel of a gun.
Yeah, so the British forces were a load of 20-somethings in uniforms that were just kind of were younger people that when you weren't really up for a fight.
There would have been the conscripts, basically, the new conscripts and stuff.
One unit set up a roadblock at the city's only exit to make sure German residents wouldn't attempt an escape. Another one further from town under orders to occupy every flat piece of ground, anything that could be used as a potential strip for the Germans. Which is an ambitious task because the whole of the south of Iceland is flat.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Iceland's famous for having an entire flat fucking country in some parts. Also, I love the fact that they block the one road so the German people could not escape. Surely, if the Germans wanted to, they could find somewhere other than the one singular road to get them to escape.
Well, yeah, block the road. Occupy the entire south of the country.
And peaceful occupation and most peaceful invasion in the world. Nah, you're still not allowed to leave.
Right, are you ready? Because this gets even more British.
Please tell. Oh, come on.
Because so far everything's went wrong. So far, we've arrived in the light, we've woke everybody up, we've drawn a crowd, we've arrived on a public holiday, everybody's pissed, we've asked politely if we can be let off the destroyer, we've sent a unit of soldiers to occupy any flat bit of land, which is basically the entire south part of the country, and as you pointed out, roadblocked one way out, which is fair enough, but they might just wander out. But anyway, we'll gloss over that, because Commander R.G. Sturgis, right, British commander, issued a statement via a flyer. So he started handing out flyers. Apologising sincerely for the inconvenience. The goal, he said, was not to invade, but to save Iceland from the fate that Denmark and Norway have suffered. So he basically went round handing out flyers that went, well, we're sorry about this, but we are invading you for your own good.
We apologise, but we are occupying you.
And it's to help you. The British manner of polite but firm very much characterised the entire operation. While seizing telecommunications, the soldiers made sure to knock before they broke down any doors.
What's the point of breaking down the doors and knock, bang?
I think we knocked, because we did like sweeps and stuff. I think we knocked on any buildings, and if they didn't answer, we just kicked the door in. But yeah, the building's janitor for the radio telecommunication tower was then showered with apologies and a promise to pay for the damages. So we essentially kicked the door in. The janitor was like, "What the fuck?" And we're like, "We're really sorry. We'll pay for that. Just let us past."
We're sorry. We're just doing our job. We'll pay for the door. Just let we do our job.
Yeah. So Gerlach, meanwhile, so this is the guy who's got the German consul. Yeah. Was not keeping it cool. The British forces had arrived at the local Nazis' neat cream-coloured house set behind the mowed lawn. They stood outside dangling cuffs. So we basically turned up to his door, knocked on his door and went, "Come on." Just dangling handcuffs.
Come on, let's go. What was it? Literally just, come on then. Come on.
Yeah. Gerlach tried to stall them by yelling through the door, "You can't come in here. Iceland is a neutral nation."
Obviously not now.
Right. A British officer on the other side of the door replied in deadpan Oxford English, "You mean like neutral like Denmark?"
I mean like deadpan, well, sir, unfortunately no.
"You mean neutral like Denmark?" Suddenly, a soldier noticed smoke coming out the back window and forces rushed inside. Gerlach's wife and daughter were burning the classified documents in the upstairs bathroom, still in their pajamas. Mariner grabbed a bedsheet and stifled the fire. Fearing the house had booby traps, the Brits then forced Gerlach to walk first into every room and then onto a ship bound for London. He was extradited in a prisoner swap months later and continued to serve the SS station in Paris. So,
Right,
in amongst.
hold on. So, while politely knocking and just going in any building, also bashing down a door, politely apologizing, and offering to pay for the damages, the one time that we encounter an actual German, we get him to walk into any room first, just in case he's booby trapped it, so that he blows up first. In which case, problem solved either way. Either the German blows up,
Uh,
or there's no trap.
yeah, either way, you're not losing a man, are you? In amongst his personal effects and the documents he was trying to destroy were signed pictures of Himmler and Hermann Goering, the supreme commander of the Luftwaffe.
Yeah.
These were found in the family's possession, as well as 2 paintings of Hitler and a portrait statue surrounded by candles. A very strange scene, one British officer wrote in his journal.
Like a fucking shrine.
Yeah. So
Do you
yeah,
think
that
do you think he had had a séance the night before and realized Hitler was going to die, so it was a shrine funeral?
I don't know, but it is the most British invasion ever.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's other British invasions where we've just turned up and went, "Excuse me, can I have this land?" No, okay, it's mine anyway.
No, that was colonialism. They weren't invasions; they were gaining territories.
They were helping people by advancing their technologies and
Yeah.
civilizing them, giving them
Well,
civilization.
they were helping the Qing dynasty by by helping them grow lots of opium that they were clearly addicted to. Not at all because we started growing it and then selling it back to them.
Yes.
It was their fault. They were addicted to it when we got there.
Yep, sounds
It
about
was the
right.
Qing dynasty, wasn't it? I believe it was.
I think it was, yeah.
Maybe historically inaccurate there. I'm sure someone will let me know.
It's how I got all the it's I feel like it's a form of chemical warfare before chemical warfare was actually a thing.
Well, we weren't, yeah, I don't know. I did,
It's like America's war on drugs. It's basically pointless. There was no war on drugs. They created the problem and then solved it by creating the problem and then solving it to make it look good.
if you want to have a British, well, what else have you got to talk about? If you want to have a British, I've got lots of British things. Both
Well, I've
stupid and
got
funny.
well, I can go with the nighttime thing, which
Go
is
on then.
just the interesting thought of nighttime is the natural state of the universe. The only reason we have daytime, so the only reason that whole thing fucked up so badly, is because there's a radiating ball of flame that we circle around.
Star.
A radiating
So you're
ball of
saying
flame.
that the only reason that we were so bad at invading Iceland is because we're too close to the nearest star?
I'm saying the only reason we were so bad at invading Iceland and the only reason we have a sun, like daylight at all, is because our planet is circling a massive, gigantic ball of fire. Which just isn't natural in the universe if you look at the density of the universe.
No. Well, yeah, it is
The
natural in the universe. There are
it
many
is
stars.
natural, but the majority of space and
Yeah,
universe is
there's
just black
vast empty
night.
expanse. Yeah, I get you.
So we have an artificial
Well, it's not.
environment.
It's not artificial. It's natural.
It's natural, but it's so artificial in the sense of if we were anywhere else, like positioned just about anywhere else in the universe, like all we need to do is be positioned a little bit further away, and we don't have daytime.
Yeah, so it's delicate, is what we say. It's a delicate balance.
It's a highly delicate balance.
Anyway, where were you going with that?
Honestly, no fucking idea. I just found it interesting that the only reason we have daytime is we are going around a ball of flame, and it just sort of came into my head earlier the other day. And the fact that that ball of flame will eventually either explode, implode, or just fuck off.
So if it explodes or implodes, there'll be an emergency.
If it explodes or implodes, there'll be an emergency. If it just suddenly loses its fire one day and just crumbles into a giant ball of rock like the moon, but 10 times larger, then there'll be an emergency as well because the whole ecosystem of Earth will be fucked.
So if there's an emergency, you'd need emergency numbers.
Now, I know that we've talked a little bit about emergency numbers before because you found some ridiculous ones in the
Yeah,
in the
but I
past.
found an even better one. So
What's it
nearly
for?
everywhere there are numbers for, well, everywhere there's numbers. So for example, I've got some countries here. So in South America, there's Argentina, you just phone 911. In Bolivia, you'd phone 911. In Brazil, you'd phone 190 for
Right.
the police. You'd phone 192 for the ambulance, 193 for the fire brigade. So in some areas, you can choose what number. It's
Yeah.
worth noting that in almost all European countries, including the UK, if you phone 112 and you're on a what do you call it, like a payphone on the side of the, or like a phone box, or if
Yeah.
you're on a GSM enabled mobile, which almost all mobiles are now, it will redirect to the local. So you won't. It's not like phone, like if we phone 999 would phone the British police. It's no good for in France. But if you don't know their emergency numbers, you can phone 112. But that's not the case everywhere. But there's also, I found some quite interesting ones. So there's a lot of, so in Brazil you can phone the police, the ambulance, or the fire brigade. But you can also phone the Federal Highway Police on 191,
Right.
or just the Federal Police on 194,
Right.
or the Civil
So,
Police on 197,
so you've got all the different factions of police.
or the State Highway Police on 198,
Why would you need such specific sections of the police force?
or the Municipal Guard on 153, or the Civil Defence on 199. Or you can phone the Human Rights Officer on 100. Or if you're in the Mercosur area, you can phone an emergency 128, or 112, or 911, which direct both to them, or 190 on mobile phones. Or you can phone 188 for hotline help if you forget any of them numbers.
Of course, because you wouldn't just
What?
phone the general police line and say, "Can I have this, please?"
If you go to Brazil, emergency numbers you need to realise that's Brazil. That's all Brazil.
And England, you've just got 999 and 111.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But in Chile, Chile's interesting. So you got 133, 131, and 132. But the way it works is there's a mnemonic here to remember it. So it's ABC 123. So
Right.
it's 1 3 and then a number either 1 2 or 3. So A is ambulancia. So for ambulance, you would phone 131.
Yeah.
Uh, B is bomberos, which is the fire department. So you'd phone 132. So A is 1, B is 2. C, carabineros, which is the police, is 133.
Right. I've got an issue with this immediately.
Yeah.
And it might be the same issue as why you're smiling, I'm not sure. But if anybody grew up with the old Nokia phones and stuff, where when you would text, you would to get a C, you would spam the 1 3 times. That in my brain, as you were saying that, if I needed to phone the police, my brain would go 13111.
No, you know 133.
Oh, because it's one, but it's 1 3 times. Because C was still the number one. You just hit it 3 times, but it was still number one. So it would just be 13111.
Yeah. Okay.
Or just
uh,
131.
well, what about, see, I'm going through some specialized numbers here. So Colombia's got your phone 123. It's like phone 999 here. You get through to whatever you need. Yeah, what do you need kind of thing.
You
Yeah.
just get everything, and
Yeah.
what you might call it.
A controller,
My brain went call
dispatcher.
girl. My brain went call girl.
It's not the same thing.
It's because the dispatchers were always women in the war. So
Yeah. So you can phone the police on 112, the fire brigade on 119, or the ambulance on 125, but you can't just phone 123 and ask whatever one you want.
yeah,
Or you can phone 165. Do you want to guess what 165 is?
is 165 just general? I don't have an emergency. I'm just curious about something.
No.
Okay, is it something stupid like your local library?
It's I feel like in this country, so in Colombia, it makes sense to have this, but it's really strange that you just have general emergency, specifically police, ambulance, or fire, and then just this.
Is it
Because
rehab?
I would have thought that if you just phone the police, it would cover this.
Right, okay. Is it like a drug raid or something?
It can be linked to drugs
Rehab?
as a tourist.
Oh, as a phone line to get drugs?
Yeah, Kyle. No.
Well, you never know, man. Is it a phone line that'll tell you like where to avoid, like which areas to avoid where there's a raid going on or
Um,
something?
no, but you're going down the right. It's the danger of the country
I'm sh-
and the gangs.
I think I've seen this somewhere before where or like you've told us about this before, but I couldn't remember it fully. But yeah, it's like all the dangerous spots of the country, like avoid this area, avoid that area.
It's not, but it's along the lines of it could happen in dangerous areas, and
Yeah.
especially if you're a tourist because they think you've got money. It's
Yep,
an
because
anti-kidnapping hotline.
okay, one like what's it gonna tell you? Two, surely an anti-kidnapping hotline. By the time you're kidnapped, your phone's already been taken off you, so it's useless. So it's a preemptive measure. In which case, what are they gonna tell you? Like the normal travel advice you get from airports and stuff, where it's like, don't flash your watch constantly, put all your valuables in a safe place.
I don't know.
Don't be a knobhead walking around in a bright white suit emblazoned with Swarovski diamonds with a diamond Rolex on your wrist, going around a poor country, going, yeah, look at me, I've got money, and then be surprised when you get the living fucking shit kicked out of you and everything's stolen.
So they're the strange ones in South America. We do have one for uh, well, this is the North American region. So the United States, not really any strange ones really, but in certain areas, if you phone #77 from a mobile phone, you can get put through the local highway patrol. Depends what state you're in. That's pretty much it.
Why would you phone the local highway patrol? Surely that's what everybody wants to avoid because they're the
Um,
ones that give you speeding tickets and shit.
well, yeah, but well, I don't know if you see one speed, but Mexico, you phone 911 in an emergency, yeah, or
Yeah.
you can make an anonymous complaint with 089.
So you can either phone them and they'll record your emergency and you can have an emergency, or you can be an annoying neighbor and put in a noise complaint.
Basically, in Mexico, the two numbers you need to know for if you're traveling there is if you've got an emergency or you want to grass on someone.
Fair do?
Yeah, most of the world is like 911 or 999. The British Virgin Islands either work. Antigua and Barbuda either work. You can phone 122 on most mobiles. Um, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can phone either 999 or 911 or 112 on any phone and it'll get you the dispatcher. So go to St. Vincent and the Grenadines because it doesn't matter what your phone, you'll get someone.
Yeah, just phone 3 random numbers. You'll get through to something.
And then Trinidad and Tobago is interesting because if you want the police, right, you can
Yeah.
phone 999 or 911, but that will only get you the police because the ambulance is 811 and the fire brigade's 990.
I was half expecting you to go 991 881 771. That would have made sense.
No. So Central America's pretty normal. Oceania, Australia. Well, Australia's an interesting one.
Aren't they always?
So it's
Oh,
just
sorry.
000, or you can phone 112 on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Or you can phone the state emergency service on 132 500,
Yep.
the national relay service on 106,
Yep.
the non-emergency police, so it's like our 111 on 131,
Yep.
right? There's a Crime Stoppers number, which is fair enough,
Yep.
right? But you can also, there's three here that are really interesting. So there's one of the emergency numbers you have to know if you visit Australia is 1-800 123 400, and that's threats to national security.
Of course, like any Australian has ever phoned that number fucking ever, seriously.
I feel like this
Okay,
is definitely important in Australia, actually, the next one.
is the next one. You see, I've got family that lives in Australia, and I know that
Same.
they've got a helpline, which is legitimately just come and get this fucking spider or snake or whatever. It's like wildlife conservation type thing
Um,
of like basically pest control saying, come and get this thing out my house.
I don't know, but there is poison control, and it's 13/11/26.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and there's
It,
also Lifeline.
it's get this snake, get this spider, get this whatever poisonous beast out of my area.
Ah, okay. So there's also it just says Lifeline, and it's 131114, and I was like, what the fuck's Lifeline? So I clicked on it. It's a non-profit organization that provides free 24 telephone crisis support. So it's like a mental health suicide hotline,
Yeah.
but it's 24 hours and it's non-profit, so it's actually really good.
Yeah, because Australia actually gives a shit. Have you ever seen an Australian who looks like he doesn't care about something? Australians care about everything and nothing at the same time. It's fucking amazing.
Austria is very Austrian. So you can phone the police on 112 or 133. You can phone the ambulance on 144 or the fire brigade on 122. Or you can report a gas emergency on 128.
I feel like that's been in place since Hitler now.
Yeah. No, no, not that kind of gas emergency. Uh,
Hello, operator. Yeah, yep. Someone, he's back.
Mountain Rescue 140. Or the doctors on 141. Or the crisis hotline on 142. Support for children and teens is 147. And it's got the non-emergency police. If you're deaf and you need a fax or SMS, you can phone 0800 133 133. Or they
Why
don't
do they
have a.
always give the deaf people such long numbers?
I don't know. They don't have a poison hotline, but they do have a poisoning information center, which makes it sound like it's where you get advice on how to poison someone.
I mean, I'm assuming it's what to do if you get poisoned or if you get bitten by something. But like, surely you would just call an ambulance and not a poison helpline. Like that almost sounds British to the point that they've set up a helpline because you don't want to bother the ambulance people. So you're like, yes, hello, I don't want to be a bother, but I've been bitten by a poisonous snake. Can you tell me how to deal with it myself? I don't want to put anybody out of any sort of trouble. Thank you.
Azerbaijan has a gas service. Not gas emergency, gas service. Hello, I need some gas. 104, quick, get it here.
Do they have a lot of issues with their gas lines
I
and stuff?
don't think so. But then again, Belgium has the 112 for all the emergencies. And then it has non-emergency number for the fire department. Most people have like non-emergency police numbers.
I'm assuming the non-emergency for the fire department it might be for things like, oh, my cat's stuck in a tree, or like, can you
Yeah,
come
that's
and do
true.
this when you've got time? Like things that normal fire services have to deal with just on the emergency line, and it pisses them off. I feel like having a non-emergency line for fire service for stupid shit like that would actually be useful. And it would be the sort of thing if you can phone them up and book like demonstrations and all that sort of stuff, or like, oh, I've set a bin on fire, can you come and put it out? But don't worry, it's like bonfire night, so there's no hurry or something.
Yeah. Uh, France has a hotline for beaten children on 119, sorry, and missing children on 16000.
Did you just say beaten children?
Yeah, there's one. It depends on if they're beaten or missing. Because if
How
they're
bad
beaten,
is how bad is child abuse in France for there to be two separate numbers for that?
well, yeah. Well, I don't. Finland has a poison control and a maritime rescue. They're the only other two emergency numbers.
I mean, I understand maritime rescue. I understand
Hold
poison
on.
control in countries where there's poisonous animals and stuff. I don't understand a line for beaten children that isn't just fucking 999 police come here now.
Cyprus 999
Yes.
emergency. Then it's got poison control, air and sea rescue. Then if you phone 1410, it's anti-drug support.
Maybe it's for like if you've come out of rehab and you really need some pep talks of why not to take drugs again.
What? Germany's very German. So you phone 110 if you want the police, 112 for everything else. Right? So 110 for the police, 112 for the fire brigade and rescue services, it says. Due to EU Directive, 112 also works for the police. 911 directs to 112 on telephones used in United States Air Force bases. Rescue service additionally is 19222.
It's the most. So the Germans went, we have a police line. Why do we need anything else? Ah, new legislation. We shall make one line for everything. Oh, we
Yeah,
need
but
another line? Okay. Add 3 tools to the end.
also it's rescue service additionally. So if you just need the policeman to come and help you, you just phone 110. But if you need him to come and rescue you, you've got to phone 19222.
I feel like the
116
rescue is more like breaking down type thing.
116 117 is non-emergency medical on-call duty.
Non-emergency medical on-call. What?
On-call duty. So it must be like a doctor on call, but only for non-medical emergencies.
Non-emergencies.
Yeah.
Then why would you call a doctor that's on call for a non-medical emergency when you can just call a doctor
I don't know, but there is
and make an
this
appointment?
emergency number for Germany, 116 116, is debit and credit card locking call. Why? Just phone your bank and tell them. Why do you need a number for that?
Do people lose their bank cards a lot?
115 administration emergency call. Oh no, I've lost some documents. Help.
No, that is the most German thing in the world. We are highly efficient. We
Where are
have
your
an emergency
papers?
number for the papers that
Call
have gone missing.
115.
Where are your papers? Call 115. Yes.
Right. So, Kyle, you phoned the police and they're not interested in your emergency,
Yeah.
right? On 110. So then you phone, where is it? 19222 for rescue service additionally. And they're still not interested. So then you can phone 0800 190 9999, which is the military police. Why is that available to the public?
Why is
who
send
in
in the
Germany's
army?
who in Germany's going, right, no, I don't need the police, I need the military.
I mean, I feel like it's
And you can also phone the railway police on 0800 688 000.
why is there a railway police?
I don't know. In Greece, there's tourist police.
What specifically for? Oh no, there's a tourist being an asshole.
There
Tourist
is
police, come and deal with them.
police on 100, and there is tourist police on 171.
So do they have two separate laws for someone as native and the tourist police?
know.
Like, I feel like a lot of people got annoyed with tourists at one point and just ended up making that number just so they could have someone come over and shoo people away.
Yeah. The Netherlands is another weird one. They've got all kinds of non-emergency, emergency calls, suicide prevention hotline, child abuse hotline. There is a animal emergency, so basically an emergency vet, and there is also an anti-bullying hotline. Again, good numbers, but a bit random. I would have
Good.
thought like any kind of, I don't know, hotline would cover that, but
Yeah.
in Serbia you can phone 1985 for civil protection. And in Slovenia, you can phone 1987 for road help.
Oh, so instead of just phoning a recovery van or something, you would just go, yeah, okay, phone that.
Are you ready? Switzerland, because Switzerland are another very anal, brilliant country. So
Yeah.
poison controls 145, road help 800 140 140, psychological support 143, psychological support for teens and children 147, Riga Air Rescue Service, right, is 1414, or you can hit 161.300 megahertz for Air Glacier's rescue service if you're in Valais only. So you can use your radio to tune into a frequency to call for help. That was brilliant.
Is that specifically for truckers or something?
No, it'd be like people lost in mountains, dude. And then the United Kingdom? You've
Yeah.
got the non-emergency police of 101, non-emergency health issues 111, COVID-19 testing hotline is 119. Gas leaks, there is a number 0800 111 999. Power outages 105. I didn't know that. But there's also SMS messages can be sent to 999 after registration by sending text message with the word register to 999.
So you have to
So
register first.
you can text the word register to 999, and then from then on you can just text them when you've got an emergency. I didn't know. Why did I not know that?
That sounds like such a good thing for us.
It sounds like such a British thing. It's an emergency. Quick, text the police. What if they just don't read it?
What, just like us? If
Yeah.
anybody comes with us.
If anybody did that to me, it would be 4 hours before they got help. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I need to go to. I'm going to skip through some here. So Chad is what I wanted
Why
because I've
Chad?
found the country of Chad because Chad is a wonderful country. So
Is
in
it?
Chad, if you have an emergency and you need the police force, you dial 17. Right?
Just 17.
Just 17.
Right.
Right? If you have an emergency and you need the fire brigade, you dial 18.
Right.
So that's the police and that's the fire, 17 and 18. So what if you need basically the emergency, like paramedics, ambulances?
Right.
So it's an emergency, you need an ambulance quick. What do you think you dial?
I want to say something ridiculously stupid like a full phone number.
Yep, 22514242.
Yeah, of course.
Quick, I'm dying, phone. Or you can phone. The good news is that you can phone directly for an ambulance, not just phone like the hospital hotline. You can phone for it directly for an ambulance in particular. That's 22511237.
Okay.
So in Chad, if you need the police, you're fine. If something's on fire, you're fine. But if you die, you're fucked.
Aha!
It's Gambia water emergency 125. Isn't Gambia in Africa? Yeah, it is in Africa. Isn't it a really hot, dry place?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
I mean, Morocco, right? Police 19, ambulance or fire brigade 15, Royal Gendarmerie 177, drugs and alcohol service 113, racial discrimination hotline 114.
Okay.
And then Namibia is a nightmare. If you need the police in Namibia, you phone 10111. But if you need the fire brigade or the ambulance, it depends completely on what town or city you are. So it doesn't even tell you here. It just says depending on town or city.
But you have to find out yourself.
Yeah, and if you go to a different town for the day, you're fucked. Togo's another one. 117 for the police, 118 for the fire, 8200 for the ambulance. I mean, it's not as bad as Chad, but you're gonna die, but you're gonna suffer a bit. I
Okay.
just think I just found loads of weird, yeah, weirdness.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ah, I need to teach you about the servants of Wank, but I think I'll save it till Jay's back because it'll break him.
Yeah, I think the Servants of Wank needs to be one for next time, honestly. I think we're going to leave it with all those horrible emergency numbers. Everybody's going to be sitting there at home going, what the fuck do I call now?
Do you know you can fart through your mouth?
Isn't that called a burp?
No, you can, like your actual fart. So if you
That is-
hold in a fart for too long, you breathe it out.
Really?
Yeah. So it's to do with the way it reabsorbs back into your body. So if you hold it in, it reabsorbs back into your bloodstream, which then obviously comes to your lungs where it's transitioned into the air and then you breathe it out. So your body needs to get rid of the gas if you won't let yourself fart because maybe you're in a social situation and you hold it too long. Obviously, sometimes you can get really bad stomach cramps and then you have to fart, but yeah, you can breathe it out.
I always thought due to what you were expelling, it couldn't be absorbed back into your body, or if it was expelled through like your breath or something, it was a medical emergency and you need to go and see a doctor because something's wrong.
No, so there's a lot of like methane in it, which really isn't good, and there'll be carbon dioxide in there, which isn't good for your bloodstream, but you can get rid of it. But what I want, so how comes it doesn't smell like farts?
Yeah, why hasn't humanity evolved so that you just don't need to fart if you can do that? There you go. There's a question for us to end on. Humanity evolve already so we don't actually need to fucking fart.
I don't. Yeah, well, everyone needs to fart. Trees fart.
So why doesn't it smell? Question to end on. Someone contact Jay and just randomly say, this is
Yes,
why mouth farts don't smell.
it must be
Just
sulfur.
out of the blue.
It must be somehow lacking sulfur because isn't it the sulfur that gives it the bad smell?
I'm sure it is, but
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. But everyone needs to fart. Trees fart, but I'll explain that next week.
Yeah. So farting and wank next week.
Oh yeah, I need to tell you about the servants of wank.
Okay. So fun next week planned. Don't forget to tune in for that bullshittery living up to our name as
Excuse
per
me.
usual. It is bullshittery.
I'm bringing
Mr.
science to this podcast.
Mr. Time for a Quaff Tide, whatever the fuck that is.
It is a quaffteed, young sir, and that is a 16th century word that isn't used
Quaffteed.
anymore, which means time for a drink, alcoholic beverage, happy hour, basically.
Well, I shall see you over morrow for Quaff Tide, hopefully.
Good.
And I will see all of you, beautiful listeners, or you will hear next week. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening.
Don't forget to follow it all on the socials. I'm not going to make Kyle read it out. He can have a week off. He
Yeah,
smashed his own
honestly,
record last week.
I've started getting a headache, honestly, so I'm not even going to bother. But thank you very much. We've got Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that sort of normal, usual shit. Go find her. You should know by now. This is season 3, episode 4. You should know where to fucking find her by now, honestly. And if you don't, shame on you.
Most of the time I get lost on the way here.
True. And our website is being worked on. There's news incoming of that stuff. Apparently it's supposed to be up and running soon.
Yeah, it's currently down, but it's only because there's big changes coming to it. So
Yes.
look out for that.
We didn't at all let a hamster loose in the cabling.
That may have happened. May have been a factor.
Maybe. I told Dad to keep an eye on her.
Well, it doesn't even keep an eye on himself.
No, to be fair, he walks around the house with that on his arm like a bloody parrot half the time, so you know.
Well, I had a fucking cat on my arm before.
Yep. I need an animal for my arm. I want a snake that just coils around.
Well, actually, if it goes,
You just poke its head out.
Your dad started with a hamster, then I've got a cat. You need something bigger, like a puma.
I don't want a dog, so it would just have to be a bigger cat.
Great Dane.
Great Dane on my arm. Just that's my arm broken.
All right. Anyway, we need to say goodbye because we're both tired of talking shit.
Is that this whole podcast?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.